The views and opinions expressed in this podcast are those of the individual guests. If you're a sensitive snowflake that may get easily offended, then turn this off immediately. If you want to hear the real truth about the gun culture, then stick around. This is the Armed Citizen Podcast. What's going on, my Ghost Squad? Welcome to the Armed Citizen Podcast Live. This is episode number 213, I believe. Today is Tuesday, October 19th, 2021. If you're out there in the live chat, make sure you say something. We don't know that you're out there unless you do. If you're new to the channel, new to the show, make sure you say something. Let us know where you're from. Maybe we can pop that cherry for you. If you'd like to call in or text in, yes, you can call in. Utilize the Ghost Tactical Hotline presented by our good friends Rod and Shelly Gates over at Aegis Gun Care. That phone number is 530-364-4678. It's scrolling right down below. Once again, 530-364-4678. If you're a veteran, really anyone, but especially if you're a veteran and you're in that hole and you don't know if you can find your way out, you're questioning whether there's a light or not, first of all, call me, text me, email me 24/7. I can't give you medical advice, but I sure as hell can probably be a pretty decent ear to listen, maybe talk you through some stuff. If you are looking for someone that can get you help and get you towards some medical attention, please remember two things. One, you're not alone. You've got a lot of brothers and sisters out here that are willing and able to fight this fight with you. We probably know the way out. And number two, the world is a much better place with you in it. So please utilize the Veterans Crisis Hotline. That phone number is 1-800-277-8255, I believe. 1-800-277-8255. Scrolling down below. Please, 273-8255. Man, you think I've been doing this a long time? 1-800-273-8255. My goodness, my mind is mush. If you're a veteran, press the number 1. We are spotlighting, as always, United States Marine Corps. If you want to find out more about what it takes to earn the title United States Marine, visit the website, marines.com. And we are a proud member of the Self-Defense Radio Network. It's a great place of like-minded pro-gun, pro-2A, pro-freedom podcasts all in one place. Check out selfdefenseradio.net. All right. I can't get through that without screwing it up, Chloe. I'm a rookie and I'm just learning how to do this, but I can't seem to get through it without screwing up. You know, that's what it is.
Well, if you want to learn how you can earn the title FUD, we meet every Sunday at the Chick-fil-A. I'm just saying.
Oh, okay. Chick-fil-A. I'm surprised you don't eat, meat somewhere else. I would have thought personally the Mexican restaurant down there, because I've had it with you and it's pretty damn good.
It would be more like Fuddruckers would be more appropriate though, right?
Fuddruckers, if you had a are Fuddruckers still around? When I was growing up in Dallas,
there's one in Tulsa because whenever we had the big gun channel shindig,
that 30 plus person.
Me and Roll Call, it was across the street from the hotel, and I seen it because it was a big sign that said FUD, and I was like, "Oh, come on, Ro, we got to go over and take a picture in front of the FUD sign. We have to." Yeah.
I see Stan from SS Pawn out there, and want to send a quick shout out to Stan. I've bought guns from him. SS Pawn is in Lexington, Nebraska. Great gun shop over there. But Stan sent me some Hornady match ammo, 6.5 Creed, which is basically gold at this point. You can't find it, and it's really expensive if you do. So thanks to Stan. I shot it last week, a little bit of it, and I think I found my match ammo for right now until I get into that reloading game possibly. But factory stuff, that Hornady, some pretty good stuff. Let's see here. Let's go through the room real quick before we get going. First out there was Gun Loving Grandpa. So Buck is going to be going with me up to Missouri this weekend. Looking forward to seeing him again. 223's out there. Bernie's out there. What's up, Bernie? And Feel the Burn. Mr. F&H is out there. They're talking about a diet of sorts. Mr. F&H says having a hand-tossed pepperoni DiGiorno pizza from the freezer. best frozen pizza ever, guys? What's your favorite? I went with my favorite frozen pizza are the little bagel bite pizzas. Oh, baby. Those are pretty good. What if you had to choose like a frozen pizza, Chloe, what would it be?
I haven't had a frozen pizza in forever, just simply
Yeah.
because like the point system and the whatever and Pizza Hut and all of that. I mean,
Yeah.
it's just as cheap. But I'll tell you what I used to enjoy, but they've changed over the years and it sucks, was the
Yeah.
Totino's. The Totino's party pizzas
Yeah.
were like
Those are pretty good. Yep.
awesome, man.
Yeah, they
Um,
were.
but they've become now they make them square, which is really
Yeah.
weird. And the ones I've ate lately in the last few years, they're not as good.
Yeah, I don't know if it's Totino's. I think it's Totino's that make the little pizza rolls.
Yeah,
Those are pretty good too.
it is.
Those
Yeah.
are pretty good. Let's see here. Rob D's out there. Got that display from Rob. Really, really awesome display. Go check him out. Aegis is out there. What's up, Rod and Shelly? See them in less than a month, man. Less than a month. We'll see them in Tulsa. Gunpowder Beauty. Hello, darling. Let's see here. Said Stan's out there. EDC Texan. What's up, homie? 2 weeks in a row, man. You're going to catch a rash if you keep coming back like that. I'm telling you. It's one of those things. Oh, Ronald Torres. What's up, Ronald? Says, which one recommends Browning high-powered 9mm or Glock 19 or Browning 1911 380s? Me, I'm going Glock 19. That's just me. King Fudd over here might have something different to say. He might actually like that 1911 and 380. He's a big 380 fan, but
yeah,
is that what you choose? Probably.
Yeah. So you know me, I've stayed away from a Glock 19, not by choice, but just because I have never found a deal, which is crazy. Otherwise, I would have a Glock 19. But out of those three, if you
not
like,
Fudd enough.
Out of those three, if you ask me like which one, if you told me to choose, right, you laid them out and you said you can have one, pick one. It would be the 1911 380 Browning, without a doubt.
Yeah.
Without a doubt, hands down.
Yeah, we know that you're a Browning to begin with already. So, I mean, this is on the bookmark side, but you're a Browning fan.
Second choice would be the high power for sure.
Mm-hmm.
That 19, unfortunately, just, I got respect for the 19. I'll own one day, I'm sure, but just so many other things get in the way. Unfortunately, it gets bumped down the list.
Now, Jesse, I think she's got you on this one. She calls you out. She said, I thought Buc-ee's is where all the Fuds went. That's true.
That's true. There's some truth to
that. Gizzard Gary's out there. Warsaw's out there. Rich White's out there. Let's see here. I'm kind of going through here, trying to see if I miss anything. Foose is out there. Holy shit, I haven't seen Foose forever. I'm gonna be up in Missouri way going to a long range competition, man. If you're around West Plains, come see me, bro. Come see me. F&H talk. I think he's talking about the Totinos. He said he used to fold them in half and eat them like a taco. So did I. I think everyone kind of did that. Those round personal, those the thin crust ones. Oh man, yeah, those are so good. Those were so good. All right, so as you guys know, we do polls every week, and this has kind of become the favorite part of the show for a lot of people. And guy that comments says, "How do you spend 10,000 in 10 minutes? Going to best on yourself to win the match?" Well, we're getting ready to talk about that. But as you guys know, the polls, we put out 3 polls every week on Thursday, Saturday, and Monday mornings at 10 a.m. on our YouTube community tab. They become very, very popular. We have fun with them. I try to have a little fun at least. And we always get some good stuff on there. So make sure you're checking out the polls because we talk about them every Tuesday on the show. But every Thursday, Saturday, and Monday mornings at 10 a.m., the new polls are released. So let's go over to the polls. Polls. So the first one we're going to talk about is got 837 votes. This was released. I think this was released Saturday. 837 votes. What is your daily caffeine beverage of choice? coffee, tea, soda, or other. So, Clovo, I want to start with you and say, what is your daily caffeine?
Soda, no doubt.
Yeah,
Soda.
I'm the same way. I don't drink tea or coffee, so to me, I actually like the smell of coffee. I just can't stand the taste of it.
Right.
And then nothing about tea is good. That's just nothing about tea is good.
One of these days, I mean, there are, I don't know if you've seen it, but they've got like Fruit Loops. I mean, of course, when you're watching what you eat, it's hard to do as well, right? With what I'm fixing to say. But my wife does all kinds of coffee, and there's all kinds of coffee creamers that are wicked. It's like Cinnamon Toast Crunch, right? Like coffee. And I'm like, I might drink coffee with that. And that's kind of girly, I guess, in a way. But I know, but it would be worth trying because I can't. I mean, I can force myself to drink it black. Back in my mechanicking days, out in the shop and it's cold. I mean, I can force myself to drink it black or just with a little sugar or something. But with some creamer like that, I don't know. It may be, but again, that creamer is expensive. You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah. Well, for me, if I need something hot or something, especially in the wintertime, I go hot chocolate. I'm a big hot chocolate fan. I'll go hot chocolate before. I mean, and coffee's never even a thought in my mind. No, I do like the way it smells, and I especially love. My wife likes the hazelnut creamer, and the hazelnut does smell good. She does some kind of a cinnamon thing also. It smells really good. But
I don't like hazelnut at all, period. Coffee aside. Yeah. But the smell, no, I agree with you on that.
Yeah, no, I won't taste it, but I like the smell of it. But no, I will say this: a little bit of hazelnut goes a long way. Yeah. You can overwhelm a room with hazelnut if you try. Rich says sweet teas most of the time is his caffeinated beverage of choice. And Knives jumps in. I said hot chocolate, and Mr. Knives, no shit, jumps in and says, "Somebody say hot chocolate." So everyone knows that Knives, it's chocolate. So
hot chocolate, cold chocolate, new chocolate, old chocolate. He don't care.
It's all chocolate. Knives,
Right.
I got, this is funny. I got him in trouble, I think, a few years back.
That was
3-4 years ago.
Epic.
And I sent him, he loves chocolate, and I sent him 50 BMG chocolate bars molded like 50 BMG, and they're gold wrapper. They came literally, and it came in a small ammo can, and I sent them to him, and I think he got in trouble for that. I apologize, but it was well worth it. I'm pretty sure they didn't last very long. He got rid of the evidence pretty quickly. Peanut butter with waffles and hot chocolate. Just stop. You're just weird, bro. You're just weird. Peanut butter waffles. I'm as big of a peanut butter fan as the world, but stop. Yeah.
I've got a buddy that has never once ate syrup on a pancake. He eats peanut butter on his pancake.
I don't like syrup. Yeah, I tell you what I'll do is if I have to have pancakes or waffles, I'll usually get like a blueberry or strawberries, or something like that, like jelly, and put them on there. I cannot stand syrup. It's way too sweet for me. Can't stand it. But I'll put strawberry or blueberry jelly or something on them if I had to eat them, like something. Yeah, I'm not a syrup guy. Can't do it. I won't put peanut butter. I love peanut butter, but that's just, I don't know. Now maybe if you do like what's that?
Well, peanut butter is reserved for toast, in my opinion.
Absolutely. But now if you're going to put peanut butter and chocolate, like make it like a Reese's waffle or pancake.
That could be interesting.
That could be interesting.
Like a chocolate syrup with some peanut butter.
Mm-hmm. With a peanut butter on it. I might be able to go for that.
Or maybe even a chocolate chip waffle with some peanut butter on it.
I could do that as well. If you're going to, I'm not just going to go straight peanut butter because I'm going to do that. I'm either going to put it on toast or an English muffin. That's they're saying, so all these energy drinks and all that, I don't do energy drinks either. I'm pretty simple. It's either going to be water or soda. Yeah. I like orange juice, apple juice. I'll drink some juice and all that. But as far as caffeine, it's going to be soda. But right now out there, which it doesn't really surprise me, 837 votes in first place with 58% is coffee.
Nectar of the gods, right?
That's what they say. Interestingly enough, in second place with 21% is soda. In third place is other, and we'll get to some of those others here. And in fourth place with 10% is tea. I'm a little surprised. Now, maybe a lot of people aren't in the South, because in the South, I think people drink sweet tea more than drink coffee in the South.
My thing is, I was big into tea. I got completely off of carbonated drinks for like 2 or 3 years. And so drank a lot of sweet tea, obviously. But I'm in the South, and your sweet tea's got to be sweet, right? And that's a lot of sugar and stuff. So, I mean, I'm better off with the sodas and having the carbonation and the, with the no sugar.
Yep. A lot of the others, we're talking a lot of energy drink people. I get it. I'm not that guy. I don't do energy drinks. But yeah, a lot of people are very, very, very popular.
You've seen me on a normal caffeinated Pepsi binge before, so I certainly don't need an energy drink.
You don't need Red Bull. No, you sure don't. No. Let's see here. Green Monster. Yeah, I don't know. That must be an energy drink. All right. Our second polls released yesterday. It's got 724 votes. Best way to spend a Saturday in the fall: watch football, go camping, go to the gun range, have a cookout, read a book. It's kind of a loaded question. No pun intended, or actually pun intended. But for you, since you going to your range literally means going outside the back door,
right?
But how of those choices, is there one of those that on a chilly fall day that you might say, yeah, that sounds pretty good, man?
So we've actually had fall weather here in Texas for the last couple of days.
Yes, we have.
And I have knocked out more videos and content and everything else than I have in like a month, in like 2 days or 3 days, right? So without a doubt, range out in the, and I would also say for me, that's also in the woods to an extent as well. But it's
and that's what I said. Go camping. I almost put like camping / hiking / fishing. I mean, being out. I might have said just being outdoors. Doing
definitely.
something being outdoors.
Yep, definitely.
Now Rob says camping because you can still shoot. This is true. True. Rich says best way to spend a fall Saturday: watching college football, then fall asleep. There was one I want to try to see if I can find it. It's a great answer. I'm going to try to go find it. It's a lot of, got like 40 some odd replies. So I had to go down and find it. But I thought, no, that is absolutely perfect. Okay. From guy, Deadeye, which is a cool name, by the way. I just replied to him, boom, mic drop. He said, have a cookout during a camping trip, shooting books, then stream the game on your phone. There it is. That is probably a perfect Saturday afternoon in the fall.
So. Who would read? I mean, I guess if like you got out on the porch swing or some kind of, maybe the rocking chair.
My wife's a big reader. She'll read a book before she watches TV. She's a big reader.
That's more of a rainy weather, cold weather type thing to me.
She would just assume she would just assume put some sweats on, put her blanket on, lay down on the couch and read a book. Then anytime, so that's just the way it goes with her. So yeah, as of right now, like I said, we've got well over 700 votes. Obviously, loaded question. Coming in first place at 61%, going to the gun range. Duh. In second place with 16% is watching football.
That's sad. It's 16% is second place.
Yeah.
Good Lord.
Well, had I not put going to the gun range, it would be interesting to see how it really fell.
And I'm surprised it's watching football. I'm surprised that's second. But they must be meaning like high school football or whatever, right?
Saturday's college football. Saturday's college football. That's a big deal.
Yeah.
Big deal.
Okay. Yeah.
NFL's on Sunday, college football Saturday, and that's kind of Tied for third at 10% apiece is going camping and having a cookout. And coming in dead ass last right now at 3% is reading a book. That's because most people that watch my shit can't read a book. Why? Because I can't read, and we kind of stick together. So if it's not a picture book with crayons, I don't.
Well, that's fair to say. Would coloring in a book apply?
For me, it does. I mean, that's the only way that I could claim I ever read a book is if it was a color by numbers or a picture book, you know?
Yeah.
So, yeah. Let's see here. And the last one got 971 votes. And there was some good stuff on here. Once again, a little bit of a loaded question, but the results were way different than I thought. Way different than I thought. If you had 10 minutes to spend $10,000 in a store, where are you going? Your choices: grocery store, sporting goods store, gun shop, department store, or other. And you and I had a nice little back and forth the other night, just kind of laughing about this.
Yeah.
Without caveats.
Right.
Without caveats.
Right.
If you could 10 minutes to spend 10 grand in a store, where would you go?
I'm going to one of my local gun shops.
Okay.
Without a doubt.
Yeah. Now,
let me ask you this. And you know, because we talked about it, but I put a lot of thought into that answer. Because I did consider a couple of other options. I did weigh my options first.
You know, I wanted to put, because I wanted to see where people's mind were. Grocery store, you know, $10,000 can go a long way for food and water and all that stuff.
It would, but time constraints is going to kill you at the grocery store for $10,000 purchase. And also, there was no caveat that we're staring down the barrel of an apocalypse or anything,
there's
any
no
natural disaster or anything like that, right? So why would
you? It was literally a guy walks up to you and says, here's $10,000 cash. Yeah. And let's say you're at this big shopping center and you've got one of these stores to go to, but you only got 10 minutes to spend this. Where are you going to go? That's the caveat. The caveat is there is no caveat. So,
yeah. Now, I told you, department store is one of those, right? So I look at this, I'm looking at this from an investment standpoint, right? I know my local gun shops are going to have really good deals, and especially if I walked in there with 10 grand, right? And I could spend that pretty darn quick. I'm going to know pretty much what all the prices are anyway. But the department store was an interesting thing because if you're thinking from an investment standpoint, you could buy, we talked about that, right? You could buy gold and silver and jewelry potentially in a department store and spend 10 grand really quick. So, and that would be stuff that, precious metals, diamonds, things like that. I mean, hold value, right? So, but, am I going to get any use out of, that would be the thing, right? I mean, I'm not going to, that would be a great investment, but unlike firearms for an investment, I can enjoy those while they, go up in value.
Sure. Now, Jesse's got an interesting way of thinking about this, and we didn't discuss this. We didn't talk about this. She said, I can go to Walmart, stock up on non-perishable and gift cards for later.
That's
is brilliant.
That's cheating. Brilliant. That's like asking the genie for 3 more wishes. Come on.
That's extending that 10 minutes into
right.
What if you went and said, I want $10,000 on this gift card?
Right. It does not surprise me one bit.
And then you've got however long it is to use that gift card at Walmart.
That thought never crossed my mind. But I was thinking you have to buy goods with it, right?
Just had to spend it. Spend 10 grand in 10 minutes.
Yeah.
Yep. And Rich is like the same way. Spend all 10 grand on a prepaid Visa. Let's kind of go this real quick and just see where this. Once again, I'm not surprised this is in first, but I'm a little surprised at the number. In first place at 81% is gun shop.
Whoa.
81. Okay. In second place at 7% is sporting goods. In third place, tied, is grocery store and other. And coming in dead ass last at 3% is department store. Let's go and see. Go ahead.
Assuming, right, taking the gift card idea or the prepaid Visa and setting that to the side because it's like crap. I never thought of that, right? I was under the impression I had to buy tangible stuff with it. Time is the problem. 10 minutes is like, that's not a lot of time. So, I mean, even if you were talking about, okay, you're staring down the face of a natural disaster, an apocalypse, something like that, right? And you knew that. Sporting goods store would be a good choice probably. But again, it's kind of like the grocery store. It's like, how much could you possibly get done in 10 minutes?
Yeah. Once again, I think I don't think the problem is the $10,000. You can spend 10 grand pretty easily if you put your mind to it. But the 10 minutes is where it's at.
Yeah, I think so.
Because you got to start going some bigger priced items, I mean,
yep.
You're going to have to start doing that. DM Foss out there in the comments of the post, not on their chat. I haven't seen Mighty Mouse in the chat yet, but in the post says, I voted other. Most of it would go towards paying debt. That's a smart man. I don't know if many people would actually do that. Most people would probably go into further debt if they had 10 grand. But that's very, very, very smart, is paying off debt.
Yeah, I'm wondering how many people would be would be thinking, oh, down payment on something. Right. Apply that to a down payment, and then it's like
down payment towards a house, towards
car, anything. It's like you just accrued a bunch of debt. Oh my goodness.
Red Sus says tons of handguns that are cheap. Nice shotguns for a couple $100. Couldn't go wrong with more guns. These are all on the community tab comments. Whiskey says stock up on water, non-perishables, canned goods, pasta, rice, peanut butter, basic over-the-counter meds, vitamins, supplements, and hygiene products. Lots of that stuff can be traded for ammo and other services if need within your community. Now, obviously, Whiskey is going into that apocalyptic bartering system, because at that point, goods are going to be the currency, because there's no monetary value of pieces of paper anymore at that time. So I kind of see where he's going with this. Is we're going to buy all of this stuff that people are going to need, and then we'll trade it for stuff that we need. Not a bad idea. Let's see here. Car dealership. Honestly, 10 minutes is impractical anywhere. I read the comments, and none of those are happening. Philip Gretzkowski out there. Stay positive, Philip. You can do it, man. Put your mind so you can accomplish anything.
All right.
The best one of the whole thing was when Wolf here. I don't know. Foreign person. I'll say that. It says, "What? I had to physically leave the house. I'll pass." He just turned down 10 grand.
That's funny. That's funny.
I thought it was pretty good.
I do know some people that way.
No, I do too. Idaho Rogers USMC says stripper bar, 10 grand. You could have some serious fun. You could have some serious fun.
Yeah, but good Lord, only 10 minutes worth, right? You said you could spend it. So I guess you could buy a lap dance every day for the next 20 years or whatever.
Yeah, I'm putting it. I'm prepaying for the lap dance for a lifetime of lap dances.
Right. Right. But who wants a lifetime lap dance from the stripper that's, when she's 80? I don't know. You'd have to. It couldn't be per stripper. It would have to be.
It'd have to go to the establishment. Right? Yeah, you have to go to the establishment, and they'd send someone over there.
Yeah.
Yeah. Mandatory carry says my investment portfolio, $10,000 is 1,000 shares of 35 cents each per quarter. There you go. Snap-on tools. Okay. Hey, if you're a mechanic and you got 10,000, you can spend $10,000 in tools pretty
Oh
quickly
yeah,
because some of that shit's real expensive.
yeah, yeah. Somebody
Um,
out there said, said like hardware store or something. I seen
yeah,
in the live
yeah,
chat. So yeah, like a home improvement place or something, especially as high as lumber is right now.
yeah. The interesting one is I had several out there in the comments saying I would go and buy a shit ton of gas containers and fill up on gas because gas prices it's higher here than it has
Yeah,
been, but
yeah.
we're not seeing crazy prices that I guess other people are seeing. So I mean, I see a lot of people freaking out online talking about gas prices. Like
I paid $3 today,
I
and
paid 279 today,
that's
so
pretty high. That's pretty high for and I didn't shop either. I just pulled into a place, but
yeah, but I'm
it
seeing
was
people like
$3.
complaining like $4 or
That's pretty
$5
high.
a gallon. I'm like, I'm at 279,
Yeah,
so I don't know.
yeah. I think we're just lucky to live where we live.
I agree for a lot of reasons, but yeah, even when it was at $4 or $5, a couple years ago, it was like less than $3 here.
The hub out there says just don't put all 10,000 in crypto. That ain't no lie.
No shit.
Everybody keeps telling me crypto's long term. Crypto's long term. The same people that told me to put money in crypto. So
I
I hope
think I've
I hope
got
they're
a
right.
couple. I've only got a couple hundred in crypto, but I've got a couple hundred in there, and
Well,
it's
you've got less now, I'm sure, because there's no
oh
way
no
it's
no
made
that
money.
was invested into
Right.
crypto.
Yeah. Right.
No,
Right.
it's probably about 70 worth about $75 at this point.
Right. Right.
I put a couple hundred in just to kind of see because
Yeah.
fuck that.
That's what I was like. Why not? I mean, I want to put your toe in the pool or whatever,
Yeah,
however you word it. So like, why not? But yeah, I'm not impressed so far.
yeah. Now Buck says it's 289. He's about I don't know 45 minutes, between
Yeah,
30 and 45 minutes from me. So
that's not but 10 cents less than what I paid. So
exactly,
yeah.
yeah. Gary says it's 305. They're in Nebraska.
Rob says
Um,
340 out 340 for New York. I wouldn't think
340
is
is three.
bad.
Yeah, that's pretty good. That's like one of the lows of this decade. Um, Waiting for weather to work out right so I can shoot a pumpkin spice latte. There you go. Gunpowder in Missouri, $2.99 to $3.19 for the cheap unleaded. There you go. Yeah, like I said, I spent a couple $100 on crypto, and it's bad right now. So here's the question: do I double down on that shit now that it's trading for a lot lower and double down on it? Maybe I can make some long term, or I say fuck it, let's write it out and see what happens. I'll tell you what's going good for me right now. A lot of my cannabis doing really
Yeah.
well.
Yep.
My cannabis stocks are killing it right now.
Yep.
I've got some stuff in Vista Outdoors as well. Vista always is pretty just steady. Um, and I invested in that about a year ago. And the reason why I did is that's when, if you remember about a year and a half ago, Vista was really just consuming a bunch of brands.
Right.
They're eating up everything. And that's only going to help. So I started buying it. So, yeah, Vista's always pretty good. It's always pretty steady. The cannabis stuff is really good, but crypto, fuck that. I might have to. I mean, like I said, I'm not going to pull it out. It's just going to sit there, and eventually, maybe I might get back to breaking even on it. I don't know.
Well, you'd be
But
surprised. I mean, I've had stuff.
oh yeah,
I've bought some junk stocks or whatever. Before, like the crash, whatever it was, 2008, where everybody was freaking out. I was buying, um, and it took quite a few years. I would say 5, 6,
oh
maybe
yeah,
even 8 years. But I just left it and honestly forgot about some of the stuff, and then got on it and was looking one day and like, holy! I mean, it was
yeah.
insane. All of a sudden, it rebounded and it's crazy.
I
So you
haven't
never
looked.
know.
EJ's out there on the Facebook side. What's up, EJ? Let's just see what. So let me go over to this. Well, it's not as bad as I thought. So I have $200 invested in crypto, different types of crypto, not just one. Right now it's sitting at it's up actually. So it's up 21%, but it's sitting at 163.77 in that side of it. So I've only lost what 28 bucks.
Right there. Yeah.
And I'm excited about that. I've only lost $28.
I've only lost that much. Yeah, that's what I was fixing to go see.
$28.
Yeah.
But
see, I've lost more. I've lost more like 70 something.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I'm about 70 upside down. So yeah.
So Vista's up. All 6 of my cannabis are up. Yeah, cannabis is doing really, really well. Vista Outdoors is, like I said, it's pretty steady. And then the crypto is just taking a fucking ass whooping, but it's what it is. Crypto is a long game, they say. So we'll see.
And then now there's EFTs coming along.
Yeah.
So
yeah,
that's going to be interesting.
And what was that shit that Chang was talking about? The video.
EFTs.
Is that what they're called? Okay, the video card things.
Those electronic fungible token or something like that.
Yeah, something like that. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And that's the one. Is that what Crump's also pushing, or what's he pushing out there?
Yeah, he's Tusk. You talking about the Tusk thing? That's a cryptocurrency.
Dude, I don't pay attention enough to his shit. I know that he's pushing it hard every time he does something.
I don't either. If you're talking about Tusk or whatever it is, that's a cryptocurrency. But it's weird because I've talked to people about cryptocurrency trying to learn, right? And they're like, well, that's not like an investable cryptocurrency. That's more of a cryptocurrency you use. And I'm like, okay, well, I don't use cryptocurrency, so I don't know.
Yeah, I don't either.
I don't know. I don't get it.
I
was talking to a guy today, and
I mean, there are places obviously I know that take cryptocurrency, but
yeah,
like to me that's just weird. Like, hey,
I get it. I'm not gonna say I don't get it, right? But it's like I was talking with a guy today, and he had an issue, and I'm like, well, what you need to do is get this app for your phone, right? And that'll make your life a whole lot easier. And he's like, oh, I just don't like getting apps on my phone because I'm just, it worries me about, the more apps I put, they spying on me and all this other stuff, right? And I'm like, well, that ship sailed a long time ago for me. I don't care. But I mean, I get what he's saying, and I understand what he's saying, and he's got to make his own decision. But at the end of the day, I'm like, I got bigger things to worry about than whether or not an app is that I use for, to make my life easier is spying on me. I just do, right? And so that follows that same line, of thought for me. And if you do that, that's fine.
For me, I don't know. I understand the concept of it, but
yeah,
it's still weird to me. It's just a weird thing. It's weird on both sides of it. Let's say as an investment and as a currency that you use. As an investment, you're investing in something that doesn't exist. Let's be honest. It doesn't exist. And you're spending as currency something that, once again, doesn't exist. So it's a weird concept. Like I said, I only have a couple $100, so it's not like I put the farm down on it and I'm gonna lose my ass if it goes away. But
and I think about it. I think about when like debit cards, right, started to become a big deal.
Sure.
And I know older people that would not use they got their debit card in the mail. It stayed in a drawer somewhere in their house, and they wrote checks and forever and ever and ever. They wouldn't pay their bills online. They wouldn't do this. So, am I just being old and cantankerous like they were back in the day?
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Yes.
Yeah. Probably. Probably. That's probably part of it. And that's why I say you do what you want to do.
Yeah. Yeah, EJ says that's kind of where I got lost. It's there, but it's not at the same time. And and I don't know much about it. There is no, because it's not like a government
It's
issued
regulated,
currency.
but it's like
It is regulated.
internally,
I'm gonna
it's
say,
all,
is it
yeah.
regulated?
Each
Okay.
individual, the way I understand it, right? Because I'm certainly not the foremost authority, right? So this has all been explained to me and then dependent upon my understanding. But the way I understand it is each cryptocurrency has its own like governing body that control, you know what I'm saying? That kind of they put the caps on how much there's going to be and they what you can do with it and a lot of
Yeah.
different things. And that's why you see the split, right? Because you had
Yeah.
Bitcoin, well, then you got Bitcoin Cash and you got several other derivatives of Bitcoin, right? Well, that's because certain people in the governing body, or whatever you want to call it, I'm using air quotes, for Bitcoin
Mhm.
wanted to go a different route with Bitcoin, right? So they
Yeah.
pulled out, branched off, and basically created their own cryptocurrency version that was similar to Bitcoin, but the rules by which it plays is a little different, if that makes any sense.
Yeah. I've got 100 in each of these. I split it into two: Doji Coin and
Yeah.
Litecoin. Litecoin
Yeah.
and Doji Coin are the two that I went with.
Yeah. I've got
And
Doji and Bitcoin Cash. So that's why ours is different.
yeah, yeah. How's that doing for you?
There, I've total on the whole account. Like I said, I've lost like $73. So plus the
Right.
transaction fees in there somewhere, right? So
Sure. Yeah.
you know,
Now,
you
Rich
got that
says
too.
that Rich White says investing in crypto is like paying $1 million for an item in a video game, and that has happened. Yeah, I'm sure it
Absolutely.
has.
But see, that gets into the NFTs. But here's the thing, Rich, with the NFTs is there's something tangible or not tangible, but the NFTs is you own a piece of property, right? And the validation of that um, lives on the blockchain. And even if the blockchain could be hacked, whoever hacked it, there would be records. That's the point of the blockchain is it records everything, right? So even
Yeah.
if it was hacked, you're gonna be found out for hacking it, right? And so that's why nobody bothers. And so
Yep.
because it's all public record anyway. And so the verification that that video NFT was created by, let's say, let's use a sports analogy, right? There's a video of LeBron James dunking a basketball. That LeBron James created that NFT, right? And not anybody can create an NFT, and it does cost money to create NFTs, right? You can't just get on your PC in your mom's basement and create NFTs all day for no money. That's not the way it works, right? So LeBron James creates 10 NFTs of this particular game, him dunking the basketball, right? That particular section of the game, right? Well, forever, even 50 years from now in the future, right? No matter how many times that NFT's been sold, that NFT will always be marked on the blockchain as it originated from LeBron James himself. Makes
Mm-hmm.
sense? So there's validation. While you could go cut a clip off of an ESPN video of that same dunk, right?
Mm-hmm.
It would never have the LeBron James origination signature on the blockchain. So while it would be the same thing, it would not be the same thing, right? It's like having a Colt revolver nowadays. You can have a Colt revolver nowadays. You can't have Doc Holliday's Colt revolver nowadays unless you want to spend
Right.
really big bucks for it,
A
right?
lot of money. Yeah, sure.
It's kind of the same scenario, right? There's
Mm,
authentication. That's the word, I guess, is what I'm saying. There's
yeah.
authentication tied to it because of the blockchain.
Yeah. Net Flutter says sports ball. Barf.
Right.
Now you mentioned a word in there, and we're going to kind of bring it back to spending the $10,000 in 10 minutes. You said a hack, and you and I were going down some really interesting but weird rabbit holes when we were talking about this a few nights ago.
Yeah, but I didn't.
And
How we could have done the freaking gift card, and we that never did come
well,
up.
that's
So that's
true.
crazy.
But I think that the way some of the stuff that we talked about actually, I think
Right.
is pretty
Yeah.
good because we figured out a way to really make a difference with without changing history a little bit. And we're talking about having a time machine. And if you go back and you know that whatever the day that Apple went public or Amazon went public and all of this, and you had a time machine, you could have gone back and bought stocks, but then you would sit there and say, well, that changes a lot of things because you would go in, I want to say Bezos owns, I think he owns like 15%, or I saw something, he only owes like 15% of Amazon. He's still the highest individual stockholder at 15%.
Right.
And Amazon has astounding, just think about this, has been valued at $1 trillion, which is stupid to me. And I saw a quote that Bezos had. He said, I only own 15% of Amazon. So I have made $850 billion for other people. I said, wow, that's something to think about, actually. That's kind of cool. Like, yeah, he's worth like 150 billion himself, but he's made 850 billion for other people. It's like, wow, that's kind of cool. But we figured you could get into a time machine, go back to an Apple or Amazon, or name that, Walmart, Disney, Coca-Cola, whatever.
Well, the time machine would make the time thing irrelevant. So it'd be kind of like the gift card thing, right? So that interjecting that makes time irrelevant at all. So
yes, but we also talked about we didn't want to change the actual normal course of history.
You would not want to create a ripple in the timeline, and so you would, if you went back and you bought too many shares of Amazon, you would, because what you would do is you would have to go back, you would have to create a trust for your future self using your documents from the
and that's what I said is what if you left it to yourself and even used alternative identifications, whatever, or something that in 2021's time frame, 40 years later,
but you would have to be careful.
The life, you haven't changed the spectrum there.
You would have to. You couldn't dump all 10 grand. I don't think in any one company. You would have to divvy it up. Because if you did, by the time you got back,
you go back to the time machine. You go back to the beginning of Apple, and then take a jump to the beginning of Amazon.
Yes, exactly.
All of this stuff.
Go back to the furthest. You're going to go back to the furthest point first, right?
Yeah.
That way you establish the trust and everything, and you can just use that trust as you trek back forward in time. You use that trust, right? But you want to be very, very careful about not buying too many shares to the point that as the future unfolds, before you get back to the future, right, and can cash in the trust, that trust has not gained so many shares that it started to get attention, right? Like that trust holds more shares than Bezos. That's going to be problematic, right?
Sure. Yeah. Yeah. I mean,
you're talking about making millions and millions,
like you said,
of dollars.
You can't go ahead and you cannot be the minority owner of Amazon back in the day. Bezos ain't gonna let that happen. Yeah, for sure. Samsung would be another good. Microsoft.
Well, it would change the timeline because they would be trying to figure out that trust and who set up that trust, right? It would start being investigations, and people would be starting to look into things, and that's gonna, that is because you traveled back in time and you set that in motion when you traveled back in time, right? So that's a ripple, because had you not traveled back in time, they wouldn't have been investigating this stuff in the first place.
Moose says Enron.
There you go. Yeah. Why not?
Oh, Lord. All right. So I'm going to go and pull out. And it's interesting. It's an interesting concept. Time machine. Mm-hmm. Go back to 1934. How much is 10,000 worth at that point?
Ooh, 100,000 probably easily.
I wonder how that would go and trying to buy off votes so the NFA doesn't happen.
Oh, that's awesome. A long way. There's no doubt.
I guarantee in 1934, $10,000
I wonder what a
could go a
congressman
long
made in
way.
1934.
Here's the thing: all you need is, let's say, 10 people at $1,000 a piece to change their votes. NFA doesn't happen. You know,
Looking it up now to see. Okay, in 1934, United States Congress made $9,000 a year.
a year.
In 34, a year.
So if you give them $1,000, you're giving them a month and a half worth of their salary right there.
Well, if you got $100,000, you could easily buy 10 politicians. I don't know what the
Well, yeah, I'm doing $10,000, but yeah, if you take it back $10,000, I mean, yeah, but I'm just saying is wow, like $10,000 in 1934, you could buy the NFA vote,
right?
We're pretty damn close to it,
right?
It's just interesting. I saw that and I said,
that was interesting. Yeah, I'm trying to look and see what the if anybody out there knows the vote, let me know.
I don't know. Google. Let's see. NFA.
That's where I was doing. I was trying to find
1934. Let's see here. National Firearms Act.
It's like, damn, give me the vote. I want to know the vote. Because that'll tell you how many votes you had to buy, right?
It's on 1968.
Yeah, that's Gun Control Act.
It's gun control, but I'm just saying is what pops up. Okay, enacted by the 73rd State United States Congress, July 26, 1934.
1934.
I wonder if anyone would know or would be able to find it, Rich, because Rich has a lot of useless fucking knowledge in that head. What was the vote split in 1934 NFA vote? Rich. Introduced in the House, H.R. 9741 by Representative Doughton, Democrat from North Carolina.
NFA is enacted.
Passed in the House on June 13th, passed in the Senate on June 18th, signed into law by FDR, but it doesn't
Democrats had a huge majority.
Well, it's because FDR was there, and it was FDR was starting everything.
Yep.
But
it doesn't tell. It just says they held a majority.
Find anything? Yeah, I cannot find a single number for the vote whatsoever. Cannot find it. It's got to be somewhere because it's public record. So someone will have it somewhere. I don't know. 1934, Alaska and Hawaii were not states, so they wouldn't have.
Yeah, it would be easier to buy the senators, right?
Yes.
Because there wasn't
you had 46 split at that point. We had 46 at that point because Alaska and Hawaii weren't in.
Yeah, and so that would be less politicians you had to buy. It still served the same purpose. It would stop it.
It would stop it for sure.
Yeah, but it would cost you less money. You'd have to buy less politicians to do it.
Yeah. All right. Well, it's interesting.
Yeah, I can't find it. It's correct. I don't know.
Yep. But I like the idea of where that was going, so that's why I brought it up. And I said, well, that's interesting. If we're going to talk time machine, let's go back to 1934 and buy the NFA vote. Rob says, what would $20 be worth back then? $20. 1934. $409.42.
Oh, wow. Inflation went up since I checked last. So yeah, that's crazy. It's
The
20
dollar had
times.
an average inflation rate of 3.5% between 34 and today, producing a cumulative price increase of almost 2,000%. Yeah, about $410 in today's money. 20
See Buck
bucks.
out there. He says he'd find Pelosi's parents and tell them to use protection. You know, so here's the problem. Here's the problem
That's
with doing
great.
that though. When you do that, and that's funny, and I like that. That's like when they talk about going
You're
back and
changing
taking out
history.
when you're going back and taking out baby Hitler, right? Or
Right.
something like that. As like I get
Yeah.
it, and we talk about changing the NFA, but the ripple effects that happen,
Changes everything.
we think that would be a good thing,
Mhm.
but does that cause us to lose World War II? Or does that cause, you know what I'm saying? What ripple effects happen because of
Yeah.
that?
No, you're right. No, absolutely. My wife's calling me right now.
Like, are we a completely different country because of organized crime becoming more rampant?
Mm.
Or, you know, does prohibition ever end? Or, I don't know. I mean, there's just all kind of what ifs.
Now Bernie says, I wonder if there were people like us fighting for gun rights back in the 30s.
Not really.
Probably not, because
So,
I don't know, but I've never
yeah.
seen anything that would suggest that prior to 34, like gun rights were threatened. You know what I'm saying?
So
Like,
they
I'm not
were.
saying they weren't, but
Yeah.
I've never read or set or
Yeah.
seen anything that would suggest
Um,
that. You know?
so they were particularly for minorities, particularly for obviously freed slaves, right?
Women,
So the whole
probably
civil
women.
rights
Yeah.
things. I mean, obviously, but I mean, Texas in 1871, Texas got rid of constitutional carry, right? In
Yeah.
1871, Texas did that. So, there were negative effects. So when he says like us,
So it's been
people like
150
us,
years since you
I
guys had
say,
constitutional carry.
yeah. So I say
Holy
when he
shit.
says when Bernie says people like us, yeah, I think they had our fire and passion and fervor, right? But I
Sure.
think the topics of the day, the way they approached it from the day were very different because we seen a lot of pioneering. We seen a lot of fights that went on that gave us land for range use, that put shooting sports into schools, that um, you know, took the government as far as people being able to hunt, right? Hunting rights and things of that
Mhm.
nature, and any kind of all kind of wildlife rights, and not just the rights for that, but also the preservation of wildlife, right? So the whole
Mhm.
FUD sector that people like to demonize so much, if it wasn't for the FUD sector, we would not have modern day advocates and activists. That doesn't exist, right? So while yes, we had them is my perspective on it, right? Is yes, we
Yeah.
had them. It was just a different fight done in a different way that sort of laid the groundwork for a lot of the stuff that we do today. And honestly, a lot of stuff we take for granted today, which sucks.
Yeah. No, for sure. I think that once again, you're talking about the 30s. People also forget there was a lot of shit going on in 1934, and most of it bad. You're talking about the Depression. Most people were more worried about where they were going to get food and heat and a shelter and all of that stuff than the gun rights. And honestly, that's probably, I don't know, but there might have been an uptick in crime using firearms back in the early 30s because people
Poverty
were,
always causes an
I,
uptick in crime. We know that,
yeah. And
right?
so once again, that could have been the basis for the 34 NFA
Yeah,
is, you know, an
yeah,
uptick in gun violence just because it was the Great Depression, bro.
yeah, yeah. I mean, go back in any society, right? Go back to medieval
Right.
times, go back to Roman times, right? In the poorer neighborhoods and shanty towns and stuff, there was always more shenanigans and violence and things
Hmm.
visibly going on there, right?
Yep.
We're talking about blue collar type crime, right?
Right.
Obviously, high politicians on their throne, you know, are doing all kind of
Sure.
crazy. Same as politicians nowadays are doing all kind of crazy stuff and getting away with it. Um, but yeah, rank and file when we talk about theft, rape, murder, assault, those sorts of things. Um, yeah, it's always tied to an economic scale of some sort. Always.
Yeah. All right, we're into this hour into this fiasco, and so we've had fun talking with the polls and kind of going down the rabbit holes, and we do actually have a topic that I want to get to, and all of that. So, what we're going to talk about is going to the first match this Saturday, and I'm not shooting in it. I'm going up to Missouri, and they've got the Missouri State or whatever Missouri finale. It's their final match of the year, and it's kind of like their end of the year championship type thing, and long range competition. And I'm going to go up there. Me and Buck, who's gun loving grandpa out there, Buck and I are going to drive up there. We're going to leave at dark 30. It's about a 2.5 hour drive, and so we're going to leave at dark 30. Drive up there Saturday morning, and already talked to the match director and all that good stuff, and already talked to a bunch of different people that are going to be shooting there. They've all said, "Hey, looking forward to having you up here. I'm going to bring extra ammo, and you're more than welcome to shoot my rifle after the match is over and kind of get an idea." But the cool thing about it is I'm just going to go and watch and learn, meet some of the guys, because I'm going to start shooting in February 5th is my first match up there. And so I want to meet a lot of the guys that I'll see up there, guys and gals, obviously. Thanks, EJ. But going to go up there, watch, learn, ask a lot of questions. I've shot competitions for years, pistol competition. Every competition is different. If I went to a rimfire, if I went to an archery tournament or competition, all of them are going to be different, but they're all the same. But I'm just going to go and kind of watch and see what people are doing and ask questions on more strategy type stuff and all of that, and just watch. So I'm looking forward to that. Knowing your background in competition, obviously it's a little bit different with the 22 and archery and all of that. Not speaking necessarily to me, but in general, there's someone out there that's thinking about getting into competition, and we always tell them, "Hey, go watch a match before you shoot in them."
Yeah, absolutely.
If you had, just in generalities, if you were going to say, "Hey, if you're going to go watch a match, make sure you do this before you shoot," I was going to say film it, but I was going to see what you were thinking, and you were thinking the same way I was. And I asked Buzz that same question. You mind if I film? Absolutely. The great thing about the PRS is literally on their website, they talk about that, and social media being such a huge important asset to growing the sport of precision shooting. They want people to put stuff on social media, because that does help it grow. So I was like, "Can I film it?" Absolutely. Perfect. So this is going to be fun. But yeah, besides, filming it, like, are there certain things that you would look at, not just in long range, but just in generals? Are you working on strategy? Are you looking at equipment? Are you looking at,
I would be more
what are you
filling
looking at?
out I would be more making contacts and filling out the field, right?
Yeah.
Talking about the field of competitors.
Mhm.
Would be, because shooting sports, there are some sectors that are really close to the vest, guarded,
Yeah.
but for the most part, I mean, you're talking about being able to go to a match brand new, have a malfunction, and somebody loan you their $5,000, whatever it is, firearm, right, to finish
I've
the
done it. Not
shooting
not not
match.
that I have a
Yeah,
$5,000
yeah.
gun that I know, but
So
I have lended my backup gun
yeah,
before, and
so I
ammo.
mean, it's it's a very generous and giving group of people in the sport, right? So, odds are they're going to be pretty open to talking about stuff. So,
Yeah.
um, I say film and take pictures. You can always analyze that stuff
Mhm.
later and kind
Yep.
of get an idea. Okay, this person is sitting this way. This person is moving this way. This person is right. Their cheek weld is this or that, or this is how they rest
Mhm.
on a barricade, or in
Yep.
your situation, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
You're able to
When are they
tell a lot
using
of
their
things.
bipod? When are they using their bag?
Right.
How are they
But
setting up
you
that front end support, all that different
but
stuff,
you also, you also need to take that and weigh that against the frame of reference, right?
Mhm, mhm.
So like, you know, just about everything I've done, I've been fortunate enough to pretty much have a frame of reference going in, right? So if I look at somebody and it's like, oh wow, that they're shooting bullseye pistol and their grip is weird, let's say,
Yeah.
right? But they're shooting really good, and I'm
But they're
like,
beating your ass, yeah.
but I'm like, but I'm like, so here's the deal. Can't was that was that just they got lucky that day, right?
Mm, mm.
Because you can have a good day, your competitor can have a bad day, and you can win.
Sure.
But on any
Mhm.
given day, that other guy that you beat can just whoop the socks off of you any other
Right.
given day, right? And that can happen regardless. So then that goes through your mind. So you've got to have like, what are the standards, right? What are the agreed upon fundamentals of the game, right? Look at it as a game, right? What are
Mhm.
the agreed upon fundamentals, right? And then how far does that person or what that person is doing deviate, right? And then you can
Mhm.
experiment with it, obviously, right?
Sure.
And say, okay,
Absolutely.
well, I'm going to see, do I do any better, right? And I'll give you a good example is Paul Harrell put a video out not too long ago talking about pulling the trigger with your middle finger, and in a lot of situations, you could be more accurate pulling the trigger using your middle finger to pull the trigger, right? But if you extrapolate that across a variety of firearms in a variety of situations, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It doesn't regularly hold true, and consistency is the key.
Yeah, and I think a lot of it comes down to, and this is, I don't like, kind of going down the same, and it's not necessarily strategy, because there's and this, no matter what kind of shooting sports you do, for each stage that you have, there is a strategy side that might be the most efficient way to shoot this stage or
Right.
whatever. Sometimes they give you a course of fire and it's you have to shoot in this order or whatever.
Yeah.
But there's the efficiency side of the strategy, not necessarily on efficiency of shooting, but it's the efficiency of moving. It's, for instance, in the long range game, from what I've gathered talking to a lot of different people, it's about like 20% from the prone, let's say, and 80% they use other stances, whether it's barricade on rocks or
Right.
awkward, only about 20% is going to be from the prone, because they want you to put you in awkward positions and all of that.
Right.
So watching how people move, how they set up their own support, there might be an awkward position that you're not going to have any rear support. Maybe you have to set weird what your knee be the back support, or what, what I'm saying. That's a part of it also, is watching and learning, say, okay, I like what he did on those things, but he messed up on a couple of those stances. But this person nailed those. And so you kind of just take notes on, if you have to be in this position, what's going to give you the most stable support for your rifle or whatever in the PRS game, in the long range game.
Right.
That's a lot of it also, is being efficient in your movements. You have to sometimes run in some of this and
Well,
lift things and all that. What's the most efficient way, and how are people doing this? And when they move from stage to stage, are they taking carts? Are they just slinging, their rifle over the shoulder, or whatever? Because let's say it's 8 to 10 stages, and let's say it's 100 to 200 rounds, depending upon the stages and all that. You're having to lug all this heavy shit. you know what's the most efficient way that people are getting there if you're having to walk between stages? Now, some places they let you drive if it's that big of a
uh,
space, but yeah, it's all that stuff. And you want to figure
well,
out. Oh, go ahead.
no, I was going to
Excuse
tell
me.
you, when you're talking about carting stuff around, the shotgunners. I don't know if you have seen this on
Mhm,
your range or not,
mhm.
but um, go to Goodwill, hit up the Facebook Marketplace. Baby strollers, no kidding. You can
I've got
modify the
one.
frames of
Oh, yeah.
baby
Yeah.
strollers, dude. and
Yeah,
you can do
they're
amazing
big in the
things with that.
IDPA game. Yeah,
And
I've got
it's
one that I use for IDPA. Yeah,
you could also modify wagons, right? But a
you got a
baby
wagon.
stroller,
Yep.
typically a baby stroller will collapse, right? So if you're able to modify that, it's a little different than a big
I'll
old
tell
wagon or
you the ones that are big in 3-gun IDPA and all of that stuff are not technically they're baby strollers, but they're the ones that people jog with. They have like almost like bigger like bicycle tires on the
Uh-huh.
back.
Yeah. Yeah. And you can replace
Those are the
wheels with
ones.
tires. Yeah.
Yeah. But those are the ones that I've got one, and then most everybody was using back in a few years ago. And that was because you can just push those. Or I've got a pull wagon with big tires on it that'll get through rock and all of that.
Yep.
When you're talking about
The
carrying a couple hundred rounds of ammo and
Really
the
good.
beach wagons, not the red ones that
Right. Not with the little
TJ
skinny
is out
tires. Those
there.
aren't worth
Isn't
crap.
it TJ's birthday, or it was, or I think it's TJ's birthday coming up. Might be today. I know it's coming up. So happy birthday, TJ. Okay. So
No record
Nighthawk
votes.
says the president signed HR 9741 into law. There were no recorded votes in either chamber and just 2 amendments in the Senate.
Oh, that sucks.
Now, Buck says I can bring the stroller this weekend so I can push his ass around. And TJ says it is today. Happy birthday, my brother. What the hell are you doing here? What's wrong with you?
At least we have a little more transparency in government nowadays for those that pine for the old days. That would suck. I'd be pissed if I was living in 34 and you couldn't give me a vote. I'm pissed now that they can't give me a, you know what I mean? It's like I want to go grave digging and dig up some old politicians and strangle them.
Now, Buck was asking earlier what the weather's going to be like for this weekend. I said around 70 degrees for the high. Now, Stan's got a good point. He said, when is more important than temperature? It is, except for this weekend. We're not shooting. We're just watching. So the only thing that's important is temperature. Do we need to have enough clothes to bring, enough layers? Because I'm not shooting, so the wind is what it is. But no, he's talking about the temperature because we're not shooting. We're actually just going to go and watch. So might have an opportunity maybe to RO, which I think would be kind of cool. But there's a part of me that doesn't want to do that. Because if I'm ROing, I'm going to have to be paying attention to the spotting scope, calling impacts or whatever. I want to sit back and soak it all in. And if I'm having a conversation with someone, I think I'll miss out on those conversations and all of that by ROing because I'm going to go and probably not RO.
Well, you're also bound to a squad you were talking about too, right?
Well, yeah, but they have they've got these what do they call it, roaming ROs. And they kind of go along with the squad, which allows me. I'm not there at that stage.
I get you, but if you're with the same people the whole time,
exactly, that's what I'm saying. Also, I want to be able to just kind of mix and mingle and see everything. Yes, and all that. So I would say that if you are familiar with what you're doing, you've been to matches before to watch and all that, and you're still going to go to one more match. Now, if I went to a second match before I shot after this first one, then I might RO at that point. But this first one, I want to move around. I want to have discussions with people. I want to see what people are shooting. Like I said, I've already been hit up by 5 or 6 guys who are going to be up there saying, hey, make sure you stick around after the match is over. I'm bringing extra ammo. You can shoot my rifle when the match is done. Like 4 or 5 people said, hey, stick around because I want you to shoot my stuff. I want to see what everyone's shooting and all of that, and which would be really, really cool. So looking forward to it. I'm looking forward to, more importantly, like you said, meeting the guys. I know what the people are like on the IDPA world because I shot that for a long time. I've been all over the South shooting IDPA. So once you kind of get in that circuit, you kind of see the same people at all the matches, which is cool. I'm looking forward to that side of it as well. because it's a whole new game, a whole new, I don't know, slice of people, adding to what I already know, knowledge wise, but also people wise. It's gonna be kind of cool because I would think that long range precision shooters are going to be different than the run and gun IDPA USPSA folk, different mentalities, different disciplines, obviously, but it'd be kind of interesting to see that, knowing that I would have assumed that the vast majority of them are hunters, and I don't hunt. I've never hunted a day in my life, and I probably won't hunt. But that would be an interesting side as well, and all that. Rich says he checked the Congress website. No record of what the vote was. The House or Senate. Interesting.
Well, it's confirmed then, apparently.
Yeah. $10,000, I think, would at least go a long way to change.
Thank you, by the way, to those Rich and whoever it was.
Nighthawk and Rich. Yeah,
Nighthawk and Rich who looked
Absolutely.
that up. Appreciate it.
Yeah, appreciate that. But yeah, I'm looking forward to Saturday. I'm looking forward to I'm looking forward to hanging out with Buck. I haven't seen Buck in a couple months. I think Buck's going to be going to, at least he told me he was planning on going to Tulsa again.
He better.
November, so
he better.
He may not ride with me this time.
$35,000 rifles waiting on him. He better
$35,000 lever rifles just waiting for him. Just waiting, calling his name. It might be 37.
He's just got to go pick it up, man.
I don't know if he'll ever ride with me again. What he found out the hard way is on a road trip.
A tornado.
Like, dude, I right through a tornado. No shit, like through a tornado that night. As we were pulling into Tulsa, we went through a tornado. And it was so weird because I told Buck and I said, dude, like it's blowing, it's pouring rain. I'm just like, I'm we're going like 30 miles an hour on the highway. And I had to tell, I said, Buck, you're on tornado watch. Like, I want you watching for the lightning flashes. You see a funnel cloud, tell me. I mean, dead serious. And it was pretty crazy. But what Buck realized and learned, unfortunately, is when you on a road trip with me, I throw a concert in the car. So I that's how I get through road trips, is I listen to music and have a good time. And I don't know. He found that out, that yeah. He said I'm cashing my 401k so I have the money.
There you go.
Hey, that might be a good investment though.
Mm-hmm.
35,000. He thought it was a 350, but he thought the other two zeros apart and make sense. No, it was $35,000 lever action.
Along those lines, I just scheduled for Thursday. I just scheduled a podcast with Logan from High Caliber History.
Yeah, sure.
And the thumbnail, a little behind the scenes, the thumbnail for that, he's sitting at a table with some lever gun, holding a lever gun with some other lever guns and stuff on the table. He told me that was $4 million worth of guns on that table in front of him in that picture. $4 million worth of guns. And I thought he must have one of Buck's guns there.
Now, to be fair, Buck, I didn't technically make you sit on the roof. I strapped you down to the roof. So you weren't sitting. It was safety first. I strapped you down just in case we did go through a funnel cloud. You were still going to be attached to the vehicle. I was thinking about that. So it's not like I just told you, hey, go up there, hang on for dear life. No. I used ratchet straps. You were secure on top of that roof. So I don't want you to make it sound like that I was putting you in danger. It was
crisscrossed his belt loops, right?
Yeah, and I had a helmet on there for him.
Oh,
I mean, he was safetied up, and he had a safety eyewear on, and
it's just sad you forgot It's just sad you forgot the GoPro on the helmet. That would have been great.
That particular helmet, it was a pink bicycle helmet, and I had forgotten to strap the GoPro onto that one. I had it on the camouflage bike helmet, but not the pink one. But that would have been pretty cool. So this time I will definitely bring both helmets. So in case Yeah, he would have the GoPro footage, but like I said, man, I don't want you people making people think that I was being unsafe, man. I had you strapped down. You were secured to the vehicle. You weren't going to fly away unless the vehicle flew away. So yeah.
So I heard this is going to
Mhm.
excite you. So I confirmed with Snob the other day that they have built a Wendy's in Claremore.
Really?
So we could, if we stay in Claremore, which it looks like we're probably going to stay there. It's easier to get a decent room.
Absolutely.
We could get Krispy Kremes, go back to the hotel, stop at Wendy's on the way, and then we could warm the Krispy Kremes up if we wanted to in the microwave at the hotel, right?
Mm-hmm.
And we got a big place to eat, so we could all partake of that because we would have.
And the Whataburgers were about 37 seconds away from the hotel.
Too. Yeah, that's true too.
So
you don't even have to cross the street.
You got to coordinate. No, on the same side as the highway. I mean, you could walk it. We weren't going to walk it in April when we were there because, well, it was a tornado. But
right.
But yeah, no hail, no debris. You're not close enough. Hey, like I said, he was my lookout. And it got hairy there for a while. I'm not going to lie. It was pretty crazy. It actually, we were going literally like 25 or 30 miles an hour. It got to the point we were there like half an hour later than we thought, at least maybe more, maybe an hour. I remember you guys were waiting on us to eat, and I started getting texts from everyone, and they were fucking pissed at me. Where the hell are you, dude? I'm in a tornado. That's where I am.
We weren't pissed. We knew there was a tornado. It moved south of you. Thankfully, it was, but not by much. I mean, you were maybe 5 miles north of it. Maybe
5 miles. Yeah. We got the heavy wind and rain side of the tornado, not the devastating destruction. We just got the outer, right. Which sometimes the outer wind and rain is worse than just being in the eye,
Yeah, especially with flooding and stuff, flash flooding.
Yeah, man, it was crazy. It was nuts. But yeah, so that was fun. But looking forward to some decent weather. Best Wanamaker story ever, at least for us, gotta be 3 or 4 Novembers ago when we woke up one morning and there was snow on the ground.
Right.
And G, being the Arizona kid that he is, was not a happy camper, freezing his ass off. Gets out of the van and was like, "What the hell?" And yeah, he was. He didn't even want to go outside and smoke that day. Like he picked and chose.
Even Oro was like, "What the heck is this white stuff?"
I am not going out there. Yeah, exactly.
Right.
G wouldn't even go out and smoke with us half the time. He was like, "I'm gonna go like twice today, just so I don't have to step outside very often."
Right.
That was hilarious. Right. It was cold that day. I think the high was like 42 or something. It was cold. Wind was blowing.
Melted off. It all melted off pretty quick, but it did blow in pretty hard that night, apparently.
Stan says, "What about your birthday?" Yeah, we last April. It wasn't exactly my birthday. It was close though. Birthday was coming up, and we all went out to, where did we go? Texas Roadhouse, maybe.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Texas Roadhouse. A bunch of us went up there, and Stan and Buck and me and Snob and Gary and I think Weston was there, and
yeah, it was
there's a bunch of us. There's a big crew of us that went out to dinner that night, and they decided to, when you go to a restaurant and if they'd say, "Hey, it's his birthday," they come over and sing a little song for you and all that. Well, at Texas Roadhouse, they sing a song for you, but they make you get on this like wooden horse.
Yeah.
They decided to have the waitress come over here and sing "Happy Birthday" to me and all that. Thinking now to get embarrassed, but I had fun with it. But yeah, that was fun. It was fun. My birthday party at Texas Roadhouse was pretty cool.
So the birthday party was okay. But for me, the epic part of that was the random goose that was owning the parking lot. He was just walking around.
He was on straight up patrol. Like he was on straight up patrol of the parking lot.
Yeah, he was not scared of people.
Would not move for cars, for walking people. Just this is my parking lot.
Yep. And you know, when we left, he was like roosted down in the middle of the parking lot, literally.
Yeah. The second part of that story is even better. Is God bless him, but Gary was struggling that day. He was hurting, and he had to park way out in the secondary parking lot. And as soon as he walks up to where we were, right there in the front row where we were, as he's walking up after parking 100 yards away, someone pulls out and there's an open spot. It was like, that's just perfect. And it was not heavy. But yeah, there's a lot of fun. If you're ever in Tulsa during the Wanamaker Tulsa Arms Show, it's each April and each November.
Yep.
Find us. There's a bunch of us that are always there. Me and Clover and Snob, and usually Gizzard Gary. Buck's going to start going. Arminty will be there. Obviously, Stacy will be there. There's a bunch of people this year. We have Aegis Gun Care will be there. Rod Shelley, Black Rain's always there. A lot of really cool people. Celtic holsters will be there. Usually Fort Scott munitions are there. Who all's there that you go and see every time? It seems to be
outdoor products plus,
yep, that's right.
Gives away targets every month to some of my folks, as well as high caliber targets that gives away steel targets. Met both of those in Tulsa. They're there every time. Great people. And so you save on shipping.
This November, which is every November, every April is close to my birthday, and every November is close to Clover's birthday. So
that's true.
We might have to do that. But yeah, I mean, if you're there, come see us, hang out with us. It's a fun. If you've never been to Wanamaker, it's a bucket list. We're talking 11 acres of gun show under one roof. 11 acres. That's 11 football fields.
Yeah. Food.
4,000 tables.
Yeah, 4,500. Yeah, no. Yeah, no, 4,500, not 45.
Yeah, I think you said 500. I was like, it's a hell of a lot more than 500.
45, about 4,500. Yeah.
They say about 20 to 25,000 people usually. It's pretty crazy. Easily. Yeah.
It rivals an NRA or something like that, in my opinion.
No, yeah, absolutely. Really, as far as crowd, yeah. If you're looking for something and you can't find it at Wanamaker, you haven't looked.
No,
they don't make it.
I tell the story about like original Colt Walker revolvers, right?
This must. We want to bet this is Pat. He's the only one that always calls. Let's answer.
It's Pat.
Armed Citizen Podcast. Who's this?
And he's right again.
What's up, Pat? How you doing, man?
Oh, doing pretty good. How's everybody doing tonight?
Just living the nightmare, man.
It's Pat.
Hey, Clover, how you doing tonight?
It's Pat. Remember Saturday Night Live? It's Pat.
Yeah.
You need to cue up. You need to cue up that theme song.
Thanks for the nightmare.
For next time Pat calls, you need to cue up that theme song for him.
Oh, I will. Real quick. Mandatory carry $5 super chats is for the reasons. I appreciate it. Everyone knows that we don't ask, we don't encourage super chats at all. If you do, understand that all of them go towards sending care packages to our troops overseas. So thanks for that mandatory care. I appreciate you very much, brother. There you go. Sorry. So what's going on, Pat? How you doing?
Oh, not too bad. I got done harvesting a little bit early tonight and actually got to jump in right at the front of the show. So been out there commenting and, just chilling with everybody else out there in the comments. I wanted to ask you a couple questions since you're getting into this long-range shooting deal. Sorry, I know you guys were talking about Wanamaker and everything.
Oh, no, we go all over the damn place. We're good. Yeah.
But is there certain divisions and stuff that are set up on that, for beginners, or is it just you get thrown to the wolves and here's the rules, go have fun type of deal, or what's the deal on that?
So yeah, they've got a couple different divisions, and there's open, obviously. Let me go over here to the website. Precision Rifle Series is when I'll be shooting. NRL is not anywhere close to me. So, yeah, so let me kind of go through,
yeah, because you've kind of piqued my interest on some of this stuff, because that's something that I've always thought about getting into, is precision shooting, like what you're doing.
Yeah.
So I've been following some of your stuff here pretty close. I didn't know what, league or what have you. So I just thought I would ask live, so that way maybe.
Absolutely. So I'm going to try. Good idea on what's going if you go to precisionrifleseries.com, is their website, but let me try to pull up. Let me see if I can find where it is, because I was reading. About maybe. I'm trying to find it, because there was here we go, the rules. All right, so the rules, I'm going into their rules thing. It's a 36-page document, but pretty close in here is the divisions, and there's several different divisions that you can shoot in, which I think is pretty cool. It's kind of a place for everybody, right? Let me still scrolling down here. Hold on a second. Sorry. All right. Divisions, categories, and classifications. So they have an open division, and that's a bolt gun open division. Will not exceed a caliber of 30 caliber or velocity of 3,200 feet per second. A bolt gun tactical division is strictly 308 or 5.56/223. That's it. If you want to shoot the tactical division, it has to be 308 or 223 5.56. Gotcha. I think that's pretty cool, because a lot of people have the 308s. Well, in a PRS match, a 308 ballistically is at a disadvantage in today's standards. A 223 is very much at a disadvantage in this stuff. So they wanted people to still have the 308s or 223s that still want to shoot. They created a tactical division, which I think is really awesome. So that's only for 308s and 223/5.56. Then you have the production division, which is what I'll be shooting it to start out with. And what they've done is to be able to shoot in the production. It was created to encourage growth to our shooting community from outside our ranks by allowing shooters the opportunity to compete at PRS events without being disadvantaged due to custom equipment. In order to accomplish this, we have set limits of the original cost of your rifle and optic. All other equipment can be mounted or added, blah, blah, but we're talking about rifle and optic. The value cannot be more than $2,500 for the rifle and optic combined. Okay. Which I think is kind of cool, because some guys are going to spend 25 grand on their rifles, exactly. So someone like me who's into both of them for $2,000, I know that I'm competing against people that's going to have similar stuff, right?
Yep, exactly. It's like being in a different class. I'll spin it this way. It's like being in different class on a Saturday night dirt track. You got your late models, modified stock cars.
Mm-hmm.
You're in that class. You know what the rules are. Here it is. Go have fun. So it's not like something that just like you show up and it's like, oh crap, I've been outspent by like $20,000.
Right. Right.
Because I've been to a couple things like that before. Yeah. It's like, oh shit.
Exactly. And then the last division is a gas gun division that, you go and get an AR-10, you're going to compete. You have the opportunity to compete only against other semi-autos or gas rifles. So that's kind of cool, because a lot of people do get the AR-10 style, and in certain competitions, you're at a disadvantage with that. So they have a division, say, hey, bring it out here. And you're not going to have to go and compete with those other people. You're going to have your own division, which I think is really cool as well. So yeah, Precision Rifle Series is where I'm going to be shooting at. NRL looks really, really awesome, but NRL doesn't come anywhere near Arkansas. Matter of fact, the PRS doesn't come to Arkansas. Like I said, I'm having to go to Missouri to shoot matches, which is fine. It's only about 2.5, 3 hours away from where most of the matches up there are being shot. Hi, baby. But yeah, PRS is where it's at. So yeah, there's a lot of divisions. Once again, it's all about for them growing the sport. So they're going to try to bring in as many new shooters as possible. And the best way to do that is create multiple divisions to where people are competing against people that are just like them, or at least with the same type of equipment or value of equipment or whatever you want to talk about.
Right.
And it's one of those things where it's not like, hey, I'm going to use this Night Force. I only paid $600 for it. No. It's the original value of that. So that optic is worth $5,000. But you say, well, I only paid $600, so I'm only shooting the production because I only paid $600. No. You might have only paid $600, but that value is $5,000. You can't use that optic in that production division. You got to go to open. So that's where it's at.
Right. Yeah, because it's one of those deals you can go anywhere from super mild to super wild.
Oh yeah,
basically. So yeah, it's just about like anything else. I mean, it's all a money deal, you know. And I understand that, you know, just from being from a racing background and everything, you know, it just depends on the division and everything you go into. It's just on how wild you want to get with it and how deep your pocketbook is.
Well, and that's the thing, you know, between pocketbooks or sponsors and all that. But that's one of those that you're also talking about is not everyone, especially when they start out, are not going to have sponsors. So the whole idea is if you can't shoot in these matches unless you're a sponsored shooter, well, that's just not true. You can be a sponsored shooter, and most of them probably are. But if you're just going to come out and grab your 308 that you've had or your 5.56 and just have a good time, well, guess what? There's a division for that, you know? And I think that's pretty awesome because they want people to come out and all of that.
Yeah, because caveating off of that, you know, some of these new shooters that might have got an AR or a bolt gun or something like that, they see this and they're like, oh, I can do more than just defend myself with this thing? Okay, I need to go out there and I need to check that out.
Absolutely.
And all of a sudden, boom, they're hooked.
Well, I'll tell you the interesting thing is why I got started in IDPA years ago is for me, the competition did two things. One, I love to compete. You know, I'm ultra competitive. I love the competition, but two, it's real world training. If you can be good at competition, moving and running and gunning, shooting in the zero down, you know, the down zero sub or the whatever the USPA calls it, you know, you're accurate. Well, guess what? That just makes you a better marksman and a better shooter, someone who's ready for concealed carry in that situation because you're shooting with an accelerated heart rate. You're shooting with shortness of breath. You're shooting under stress, under time, and all that. All that just makes you a better shooter. Same thing with long range. You know, I don't hunt, but I would imagine being a good precision shooter in competition is going to make you a better hunter, or it's going to make you a better shooter in general. So competition does bring a lot of benefits to just normal everyday firearm owners. For me, a lot of the competition is it. I love to compete because it pushes me to get better. And I'm always looking to get better. And the day that I quit trying to get better at shooting my guns, it's a day that I might as well just go ahead and sell them because that's not the whole point. The whole point is being more proficient, becoming a better shooter, understanding firearms, how they work, what atmosphere has the effect on ballistics and all of that. The math side of long range is really what it fascinates me. And Clover knows it. Clover and I talk almost every day on the phone about this stuff. And I guarantee you, Clover is sick and tired of my ass the last couple of months because I'm so excited, so fired up about this. But all of our fucking conversation, at least on my side of the conversation, is long range. And he's like, fucking, hey, dude, stop talking about this shit. I don't care. But he's endured, he's endured my excitement. So yeah,
Could be worse. Could be worse. Could be talking about semi-automatic handguns. God.
Yeah,
or tactical training. Tactical training.
Right. Yeah, I'm going to this training.
You want to see Clover get a rash? You want to see Clover get a rash? Talk about semi-automatic handgun CQB tactical training.
Right. Yeah.
That's the trinity, the holy trinity of his rash. Yeah.
Yep.
Well, I'll let y'all on a little secret. Before I got started in on handguns, I mean, like, really got in on handguns. I actually got in on the revolver side first, black powder and 357 stuff. And you know what? To this day, it is still a toss-up between a revolver and a semi-automatic because I love revolver. I always have, always will. They hold a good place in my heart, but they all have their applications. And that's the only reason that I went to a semi-auto for self-defense is just because I could hold more rounds in a magazine and just, quicker follow-up shots. I mean, I'm pretty good with the revolver. Don't get me wrong. I mean, if I needed to put rounds on target pretty decent and pretty quick, I can. But for everyday carry, it's hard to beat a semi-auto. But at the same time, I still carry my 357 every once in a while. So
hashtag revolvers suck.
Oh, then now you're going to get two of us started on your ass.
Yeah, well, hey, it wouldn't be the first time. Won't be the last.
Well, they all have their place, and I love them both. So it's on any given day, it's a toss up between both of them.
I hear you.
So I really like both of them.
Yeah.
So, anyway, I just had that question for you tonight.
Yeah,
so
man.
I just wanted to stop and say hi and give you my usual jingle.
There you go. I appreciate you calling in, buddy. We'll talk to you soon.
All right. Well, night, Clove.
He's muted.
All right.
Yeah. Later, Pat.
Okay.
Take care, Pat. See you soon.
All right. Bye.
Bye. All right. I love the availability to call into this show. I'm surprised more people don't, but we know it's Pat. Pat's always going to call in. I like it. It's a fun thing. What happens in the Marine barracks, stay in the Marine barracks. Oh, revolvers suck. I get it. Yeah. It took me a second there. Remember, I eat crayons for lunch. So, yeah. Yeah. Anyway, so we're hour 45 into it. Looking forward to this weekend. Like I said, Buck's going to meet me up at the range before the sun comes up, well before the sun comes up. We've got a couple 3-hour track up to Missouri and all of that. So if you're going to be up there shooting, let me know. I'll definitely come by and say hi and probably ask you some questions. If you're going to be around the West Plains, Missouri area and you are interested, man, come out, watch a match. Even if you have no desire to shoot in one of these, but you've never been to any kind of shooting sports match, come experience it. It's awesome. Awesome people out there. I promise you. Yeah, come on out. I'm sure they would love to have you out there. If they're going to have me up there, they're going to have anybody up there. I promise you. So yeah, Buck and I'll be having fun with that, learning as much as we can, meeting some of the people, looking at their equipment, looking at their strategies, looking at different things and how they do it. That's what it's all about. And my first match to actually shoot in is going to be February 5th in Missouri. Rich says, no, that was in reference to you saying you've been double teamed before. Okay. Yeah. Hey, not the Navy, bro. Hashtag not the Navy. Just saying. They do that. Double team to the Navy, that's a Tuesday night. That's just a normal Tuesday night being double teamed to the Navy. Man, we're going dark. Sorry. Let's come back to the light. Clove.
Yeah.
Thanks for hanging in. What, by the way, riding shotgun tonight, what shotgun were you using this week? You used the Goose gun last year, the Goose shotgun, which by the way is awesome. But which shotgun would you use this week?
So here's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna say no comment.
This is our FUD minute here, so I'm gonna give you a ton.
I'm gonna say no comment. I'm gonna drop a link because I did put a reply out to your what I call the revived
Yes, you
Bergara
did.
challenge. I
That's
want to be
right.
careful not to call it the Bergara challenge because it's not.
It's not. It's not. It's the Ghost Tactical Bergara.
Right.
Yeah.
It's the
But you did.
rehash or the reload or whatever you want to call it. But I did put out a reply in my own
Yes, you did.
flavor, like I normally would do. So, and hopefully other people will partake and get out and have some fun.
I'm
When
gonna
does that
go over?
pimp that out? When does that end? And what are the hashtags? And how do people tell people
Yeah,
about
I'm
that?
going to come over here real quick. Let me get the link.
Because I did the reply, but I just linked to your video, your little shorts, and I said, "Hey, go check that out for all the details."
Yeah,
because it's your thing. I was just replying to
yeah.
it, so I don't want to get anything wrong.
I put the link out there to the short. It's a little YouTube short, but basically what happened is Bergara Rifles put out a summer shootout, and it ended in October 1, and they actually gave a rifle away. But what they wanted to do is go to their website, download this target, and shoot either 3 or 5 rounds, whatever it was. Take a picture of the target, post it on YouTube or on Facebook or Instagram, tag them, and use the hashtag Bergara Summer Challenge or whatever it was. And then they randomly drew all the entries. They drew one, and someone won a freaking Bergara B14 rifle, which is what I have. They gave it away for free, which is awesome. But it ended like October 1. Well, I was like, okay, well, what can I do? So I wanted to keep this going because I don't care if it's a Bergara rifle that you shoot, and I don't even care if it's a rifle. I don't care if it could be a bow and arrow or whatever. But the idea of it is the same. So I put a link to the video, and all you got to do is download the target, take a shot of 3, grouping of 3, take a picture of it, tag me, not Bergara, tag me on Instagram or Facebook, and use the hashtag. I'm going to put it on here, Bergara Ghost. Use that hashtag, Bergara Ghost, and on November 1st, probably November 2nd, actually, because that's this Tuesday. We might just do it live on the show. We're going to do all the people that submitted. We're going to do a Bergara swag pack, which is going to be a hat, a t-shirt, a sticker, and then obviously we'll throw some Ghost Tactical swag and some other swag that we have around. But yeah, all it is just to get out and shoot. Enjoy shooting, going to the range, and have given you free shit or the incentive of free shit to get you out to the range, then by God, that's what we're going to do. A little super chat from Pat. Appreciate you. Thanks for the show tonight. Always good chat, Ghost and Clover. Revolvers rule. Okay. I had to say it. He paid for it, so I had to say it.
Right.
But damn him. No. But yeah, it's one of those where get out there and shoot. So go check out my link, which is telling you what to do, and then go check out Clover's link, was his response to my link. Pretty cool what you did. Pretty cool. A little different than what people think.
Just having fun.
So,
yeah,
that's what it's all about. What kind of projects or podcasts or have you got? I know you said you've got a podcast scheduled for later on this week, but
Thursday.
What all you got going on?
Thursday we got Logan with high caliber history. So we'll talk about, as I said in the thumbnail, he said that was like $4 million worth of guns on that table. So no doubt we're going to talk about some old guns and collectible guns and some of the rare stuff he's seen, and should be a good conversation about that sort of stuff.
Yeah, Logan and I, this is about 4 years ago. Can't remember. It was, I don't remember. Good friend Tonto Peranto invited me to go to a screening of a TV show he was doing called War Heroes. This is a few years back.
That was during the
premiere. The premiere of it, they held a premiere during SHOT Show week at one of the big theaters down there, and he invited me to go, which I think was really awesome. And I get there, and my seat was right next to Logan's. So we sat there, and it was a movie theater, and it was like one of those recliners, the nice with tables and all that, where he had me and Logan sitting, which was nice of him to do that. But mine was right next to Logan, so we kind of watched this and hung out together for a while. I'm sure I've seen him, but I haven't like talked to him and all that. Spent time with Logan since then. So hopefully I see him at SHOT this year. It'd be nice.
Right. So got that. Been working on actually some articles for gear-report.com the last few days.
You have.
Again,
the message, my little, our little group that was blowing up today. Like, what the hell's going on? Oh, Kluwer finally did something.
I did. So, the weather, man, is just, it's more conducive to getting out and doing stuff, and then, then I've got tons of stuff, man. I've got, I think I got 3 or 4 videos easily in the can, a couple more to, finish up. And, it looks like we're going to have good weather through the rest of this week. So, if that's the case, good Lord, I'm going to be stacking some stuff up, which is a good thing because I've got a ton of stuff here that needs to be done, right? Because we work and we crank out content, especially from about this time, right? Late summer, early fall through SHOT Show. And then it starts all over again with the connections we make there. So, I've got to get some of this taken care of.
Yeah, I agree. I've got some stuff sitting in there that are in the. I got kind of caught up there for a while, which was incredible because I'm so busy in the summertime that I really don't. But I did get caught up right in the spring, which I guess is a perk of not going to SHOT and all that stuff because you had time to get all that stuff done. But I've got several things that have come in the last month or so that I've got to get cranked out here in the next month or so. So I'm looking forward to that. But yeah, I got some really cool guests coming up. On the show, waiting on confirmation for dates. Hold on, this might be one right there. Okay, nope. You guys, I don't know if you guys are familiar with Ray Hong. Ray, she is big into long range and extreme long range ELR. Big into it. Go check out her Instagram and her she hit at 36.99 over 2 mile shot a month or two ago. I want to say out of Arizona or Colorado, one of the two. They hit a 2 mile shot in competition, which is awesome. She's hopefully gonna be coming on here pretty. We're working on dates. Phil Vallejo from Modern Day Snipers coming on. Got a message from him. He's just getting back in from a 10-day hunt. So he's working on, he'll be coming on. Charlie's going to be coming back on. Got some really cool stuff in the next month before we go to SHOT Show. Got some really cool guests coming on to talk different things. So, I will definitely, definitely be talking next week about the match this weekend. And then remember also Wanamaker is, what is it, like the 13th or something like that? The weekend of the 13th?
It's like the second weekend.
It's the second weekend. I think it's like the 12th or 13th or something like that.
13th and 14th.
Okay, 13th and 14th of November in Tulsa. If you haven't been to it, it's a bucket list. You need to go. It's the world's largest gun show. 11 acres of gun show under one roof. Just go. Just go. That's all it is. So, yeah. Anyways, I got some really cool guests coming on the next month or so. Trying to get all this stuff done before SHOT Show because once December hits, it's hard to get people to come on because of the holidays. And then building up to SHOT Show, we'll be doing shows on different things with SHOT Show. And then as soon as I get back from SHOT Show, I start competing. So it's like, holy shit, this next month is going to be, we're going to have some really cool guests and all that coming on. But yeah, for sure. Looking forward to it. Clove, thanks for coming on as always. Ride shotgun. Yep. And we will see you guys next week. Semper Fi.